What of TM in this country? Well, in Dublin there are two centres, one on the north side of the city in Eccles Street, the other here in the tree-lined suburb of Ballsbridge in Ailesbury Road. And we came along to a TM session where a number of interested people had come along for an introductory lecture.
Good evening to you all and welcome to this introductory talk on the Transcendental Meditation programme. My name is Mary Daly and this is Michael Kennedy, and we're both teachers of TM. And tonight we're going to talk to you about the benefits that you can gain if you practice the technique.
For most coming into contact with TM for the first time, attracted by its promised benefits, despite the exotic transcendental name, the people who teach the technique, like Mary Daly, seem refreshingly normal. So what did the new recruits expect to find here?
I came here because I had an introductory talk when I was at university about 4 years ago, and at the time I didn't have enough time or inclination to carry on with it. But I feel now that the time has come to sort myself out a bit, and I have an inability to concentrate and to think, and I thought this might help me a little.
I really came unprepared tonight, and I came prepared to be taught about it here. And deliberately, because the lady I spoke to, she said that you were better to come unprepared than with preconceived ideas that perhaps were false ideas, which are more difficult to get rid of.
I want to make sure I haven't missed any other experience which could be taught to me, brought over from the East, because it's known for its mysticism.
But I didn't expect photographs of the Maharishi everywhere. I find it hard to take him seriously as a person. I find the method absolutely fascinating. But it's like in Catholicism having Jesus Christ around, opening schools and things. I find it very odd.
It was more of an introduction. And I think tomorrow night it tells you about the method itself. And I mean, you couldn't expect them to go and jump all over with joy and whatever. I mean, okay, they seem settled in their ways and so on.
I thought they were good and interesting and very sincere, but I got the impression that they were reciting something, that they had memorized something and were giving it back. It didn't sound like it was coming from themselves. I'm sure it was perfectly accurate.
But in spite of the scepticism, all but two of those who attended the introductory meeting are still practicing. And the lecture was only the beginning of quite a lengthy process.
Right, so tomorrow they come back for what we call a preparatory talk. It discusses the mechanics of the technique in a bit more detail. It's free of charge. They just come in and sit down as they did for the introductory talk. And on that talk they decide whether they want to learn or not. And if they do want to learn, they have a personal interview with the teacher. And then they come back on Sunday for personal instruction. That is actually teaching them the technique itself. And then on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday, 3 days following personal instruction, they come back to discuss the experience they've had on Sunday and the 3 days following. And then in 10 days, they come back again for another discussion and checking of the meditation and for more understanding of what is happening, because when we meditate, changes come about and we need to understand what they are. And then for about 6 months, people come back once a month to discuss and hear more knowledge about the technique and about the effect that it's having on them.
The key to the technique, according to the TM people, is the mantra. The mantra is a word specially chosen by the teacher to suit the individual subject, and which the subject is forbidden to confide in anybody else. With eyes closed, the mantra is repeated inwardly by the subject over and over again until the point of transcendence, whatever that means, is reached. But although TM can be practiced by those of all faiths, as we shall see later on, the mantras do have a religious significance. But advocates of the technique say that it benefits even those who take no interest in its origins or its religious connections, but who simply use it to improve or expand individual capabilities. Eugene O'Brien is a success, a property developer, grain merchant, supermarket owner with widespread business interests, all controlled from his home in Edenderry. He has gone on from the basic techniques and is involved at the advanced city level. But a few years ago, before he started TM, success and rapid expansion had taken a heavy personal toll.
Yes, I was certainly successful at that time. Some people are successful and they can take the strain of running about a lot and seeking out new projects and doing new projects and running their normal business. I reckon my nervous system wasn't able to stand up to it. So I needed something. And
How were you
that is-
coping at that time? Were you taking pills or?
Yes, unfortunately. I started TM about 6 years odd ago, and I went to the doctors, I suppose, about 4 years prior to that, and I was on various courses of tranquilizers and sleeping tablets and what have you of that nature, and had tried many times to relax in other ways, possibly by listening to music and things like that. But really, I just didn't feel settled in myself.
Had you been a faddist before that? I mean, did you try all sorts of things, vegetarian eating, vitamin C, lifestyle changes and so on? Were you that kind
I
of
wouldn't
person?
say I was an extreme faddist. I certainly might have tried odd things that I thought would steady the nerves, such as various tonics and stuff like that, but nothing very extreme.
Those who recommend TM often say that it leads to success in the practical things of life. Has it improved your business?
Oh, very definitely. Very, very definitely. I find that TM gives one a very clear mind. It frees the mind from useless thoughts. It helps one, I would say, to compartmentalize, that you're on a job and you get through with it. And when you're through with that, then you go on to the next job. That your mind, if it's woolly at all, it literally obliterates that distraction.
Do you associate it with religious conviction?
No, not really, no. It probably would give one definitely a greater appreciation of one's own religion.